Preface. It is with great pleasure that I publish this book and to be able to share my thoughts and provide it as a guidance to get to know and understand Do or Dao through the training skills with swords and without swords in the Yin-Yong Sangumryu Haedong Kumdo Korean two-swords system. I endeavor to do my best to show the absolute essentials in the method of cultivating one's mind and heart with various two-swords training skills, physically, as well as to take others to the gateway when approaching the true Do and the foundation to accumulate virtue in daily life. I suppose that this book could also be a masterpiece of learning and understanding relative to what it means for anyone to function as a fully developed human being and as a trainee in the martial arts, especially since one should be able to do it to enhance life by encompassing mental health and related issues. If we want to achieve the aforementioned, the first task will be to think outside the box and into a consciousness change. We should also understand what the energy in nature is and also understand what is around us and that everything is interconnected with the universe. It is my view that it is a cutting-edge understanding of human life that is critical to attain a better life and to be a success in today's world, compared to the olden days where we had to fight, win, and survive for family and country. The benefit of an enhanced life is exactly why we must live on this planet in this very moment of time. This textbook as a guidance for Yin-Yang Sangumryu Haedong Kumdo in the martial arts is meant to present think out of the box. I can realize and fulfill. To achieve a better life filled with health and happiness and having both a sound body and mind, and growing spiritually as we begin to realize and understand the truth of life with sincerity and humbleness in daily life through the constant fundamental changes of consciousness. During my stay in Medellin, Colombia from the 15th to the 26th of August 2014, it was so satisfying to observe the many participants' passions and efforts accompanied with sincerity and positivity whilst engaged in the learning of Yin-Yong Sangumryu Haedong Kumdo. With participants' thoughts in this trip in Colombia and essays or feedbacks of other national trainees, as well with photos and explanations for learning Sangumbop, the two swords forms, and Kimu. In fact, what I have been teaching all over the world is to not only apply sword skills physically, but to apply the skills and principles gained in everyday life. Although the principles and skills are very simple and clear, it takes some time to get to a certain state of mind to ensure that the knowledge and practice gained come naturally in whatever we do. Through training, one will be able to access both extensive learning as well as profound human understanding for the task of cultivating oneself so that we become the living reality of our lives. Nowadays, most of the participants of martial arts try to hone and show their abilities. And irrespective of what is said of the development of the mind or spirit through training, we do not really see these skills and principles reflected and invested in the everyday life. Through the 2014 Colombian Jeong Seong-Haedong Kumdo events, it was my main objective to specifically show how to learn and teach mentally and physically with a deep understanding of what one can actually experience. I wanted to bring about something that was never experienced before in the martial arts. To be able to feel and glimpse into the spiritual world and to experience it through swords and Kimu training. Introducing, especially at this time, Do or Dao through Yin-Yang Sanggumryu-Haedong Kumdo training through the principle of nature or universe, something that most of the teachers and practitioners in the martial arts milieu seem to have forgotten over the years. What Yin-Yang Sanggumryu-Haedong Kumdo intends to achieve through martial arts training is to continuously develop and promote the knowledge and teaching for both body and mind. I believe that it can ultimately be said that Yin-Yang Sanggumryu-Haedong Kumdo is a higher purpose for a better life, especially to enhance the quality of life. During my stay in Colombia, I have also endeavored to emphasize the importance of the truth for a better life with the experience of energy through the Kimu and swords training. Kimu means the inception of energy, strength or light or wavelength or love into the martial arts. As we begin to know and understand the truth of everything around us in life, we may cultivate our moral senses, and we should not waste our limited time in life by not spending our finite energy on vain actions in the pursuit of extravagant or immoral things. The purpose is to absorb the best practices to improve happiness and gratification of life. That is why it is important to have a good teacher who can show students the truth in life, especially in the martial arts. By doing this, students will progress step by step and according to the student's own pace in both mind and body. Knowledge is merely knowledge. However, what one does with the knowledge is important. Once people try to show the knowledge gained of openly, is when caution must step in. When we practice and cultivate our mind and body, it is important to be cautious, especially when people start to say, "I know it," or "I am right." The moment a person becomes self-possessed, it effectively obstructs our growth and progress to achieve the ultimate self-cultivation. We know that a sound mind derives from a sound body. In this regard, martial arts training are the best way to cultivate both. We coach to ensure a healthier and stronger body and mind, with or without swords, as we get to know and understand the truth in life through Yin-Yong Sangam-ryu Haedong Kumdo training. And then the preface concludes with some credentials signed by Grandmaster Kim Jeong Seong in the spring of 2015. So let's summarize and reflect on the preface. Understanding Do through practice and daily life. In the preface, Master Kim introduces Do, or Tao, not as a concept to be studied, but as a way of living, cultivated through swords training, Kimu, and daily life. The central message is simple but profound. Training is not about showing skill, but about transforming consciousness. Here are some core themes. Do as a way of life, mind-body unity, energy and nature, also referred to as Kimu, which means energy in the martial arts, which will be covered many times. Humility over ego, and application beyond the dojang, which we will cover in the next slides. So let's take a look at the phrase, think outside the box. When the text says, think outside the box, it doesn't mean rejecting tradition. It means not being trapped by habit, ego, or fixed identity, whether in sword training or daily life. Here are some reflections. Am I training to improve myself or to prove myself? Where in my daily life do I ignore the principles I practice in training? And what does humility look like in my current stage of practice? Please feel free to think about it and leave a comment under the video. Then we can take a look at how to connect training to daily life. So we have many kinds of sword control, skills with one sword and two swords. And with this sword control, we are trying to expand limits, and this will go with some friction or sometimes even some frustration or great effort. And on the other side, also with some humor and creativity and fun. So in this journey, learning all these skills and sword control, we also learn about emotional control. And then I would also like to add emotional balance. And this is valuable for your daily life because it's good for your relations. Next one is Kimu, which means energy in the martial arts. And this is very helpful for stress management. So Kimu can transform stress into vitality. And even if you do not know all the Kimu, for example, Kibon Kimu, which means basic Kimu, consists of 12 segments. Even if you only know 3 or 5 techniques, you can already make a small group of techniques and then just repeat it, relax, enjoy the movement of the energy, and you will feel that you can transform stress into vitality. Next one is form repetition. Can transform into discipline in daily habits. We practice many kinds of repetitions to get it right. I would also like to say repetition is the mother of skill, and gradually, bit by bit, we will incorporate the discipline into our daily lives in whatever we like to do or achieve. But then we have partner training. For example, during warm-up, we cultivate flexibility and strength and so on. Some exercises require a partner. Then we have to have a respectful understanding. We have to have respect for each other's limitations, but we also have to have respect for each other's unique capabilities. And with this respect, we can create harmony in the dojang, which in turn creates a safe environment for learning and growing together. You can extend this respect and this harmony into your daily life when you work with colleagues or friends or other people. And then this will also be a transforming factor in your daily life for respect and awareness of others. Here are some key takeaways. Training without humility blocks growth. Knowledge alone does not equal wisdom, and true martial arts are revealed in everyday life, and a sound body supports a sound mind, but intention guides both. So you are invited to explore the many, many paragraphs and chapters written by Master Kim. And as you continue your training, whether with swords or without, observe how these principles appear in your daily life, because that is where Do truly begins.